Insecurities abound among teenagers. Real and perceived social, personal, and physical changes that occur in middle and high school can manifest in distress and angst for so many students. Add on food insecurities and lack of access to toiletries and personal care items, clothing, and other essential resources, and the challenges for kids can become detrimental and even debilitating. In September of 2016, Washington Township High School dance teacher Eisa Jackson and student assistance counselor Heather Petolicchio received approval from the Washington Township Board of Education to launch Township Pantry. Located in the 910 wing of the school, the pantry developed as a way to respond to the unmet needs of Washington Township High School students, including homeless and low-income students who sometimes lack basic essentials. WTTV stopped in to see firsthand the powerful impact that a full pantry has for students in need.
Initially, the concept was, I guess, a bunch of teachers were doing their own individual thing, trying to help students that didn't have the resources, that needed a snack during the day. And a staff member who used to work here, and Ms. Jackson was working on a program for her students in action. They were talking about food insecurity. So we kind of just really joined forces and realized we could be more effective and more comprehensive if we joined forces and put things together. So we wrote up a proposal for improvement to create the pantry, and that's how it started. The first year was pretty much working on logistics, trash picking, shelves, basically trying to set up the actual physical space, and then also trying to get the word out. Our second year, we've picked up more families, and now going into our third year, I feel like we're actually up and running where we can be, more effective. For the most part, we work on toiletries, things that if someone is, displaced for a short period of time, or to help them pay for things that students can donate or families can donate, then they don't have to spend their resources on, toiletries. So toothpaste and toothbrush and deodorant and shampoo and soap, and then we also have food items, non-perishable food items, because we're not set up in here for cold items or perishables. So we try to stockpile, snacks, or when we have those long breaks in November, or even our winter break or our long week spring break, we can help families that sometimes rely on the free and reduced lunch in the morning for breakfast and for their lunch. We can make sure that they have food to last throughout the week. The clothing came about, again, just really out of need. Again, the opportunity for, instead of some of the other charities in town, the students know what the kids like and what the students want to wear. So we get donations from students that have, outgrown, or staff members that have kids of similar size or teenagers, and that allows us, there's been some simple things that we've helped out with, like a kid who gets sprayed by a skunk on the bus stop. We're able to, help them get cleaned up and get a new backpack, and even with kids who've gotten caught out in the rain, we're able to replace, instead of them going home and missing instruction, we can quickly get them a new outfit. Or girls that might have some, accidents throughout the month, we can not have to worry about them again missing instruction. We can just get them basically their basic needs met, which is basically what we've been trying to focus on. If we can help these kids with the pantry, their basic needs being fed and being clothed and being taken care of, then they're much better students in the classroom. They're much more focused. They're and that's basically been the goal, try to help with the basic needs. It started off for me trying to include the special education population, because my daughter has special needs, and some of the things that she's really good at is sorting and things that are pretty finite. They're very specific. So I brought her in one day. She was helping me sort the cans, and I realized this was a great opportunity for us to expand, to have some of our special ed students learn pre-employment skills as well as functional and life skills. So last year we had a student that came in and helped organize the pantry, label things, look at expiration dates, and these skills would then generalize into a work environment. So what we've decided to do is expand that further to have more students come in and get some of the pre-employment skills, the life skills. We've just got a washer and dryer recently, so that was donated. In the past, I would just take the things home and wash them, but we were able to get a washer and dryer, so a two-part of the pantries, one is we'll get to wash the clothes that come in, or we'll be able to help the families who don't have access to washers and dryers. Sometimes kids who are on teams, they have to wash their uniforms 3 times a week, but if they're living in a situation that mom and dad are working over the nights, or they have a single parent situation, or they're living in an apartment complex where they don't have access to the washer and dryer as easily, we can work on those things here at the school and get them what they need without the stigma of not having the clean clothes. And then as far as with our special ed population, again, working on the life skill of taking care of the clothes and how to work the washer and dryer, and so that's part of our plan. Our goal this year is to reach out to more families and to let them know that we are here, more students. And earlier this year we had a back to school supply giveaway, which was very well attended, and we've actually also created our own email address. So we have our own email address if families can reach out to see what kind of things we have, or what we could help them out with.
We know back to school time, it's expensive. You have to get all these different items for school, and if you have multiple kids and you're not in the best situation, it's really hard. So we wanted to do something that would help. And we had book bags here, and I thought about my church does a school book bag drive, so I thought we should do one here as well. We got Shannon Malloy brought us a bunch of things from the school store. Gym clothes was really helpful because a lot of the kids, a lot of kids sit out of gym because they don't have gym clothes to wear. They rather not say that they don't have gym clothes to wear, and they just rather fail gym. So it was nice to be able to give out the gym clothes to the kids. A lot of families came. We were nervous because we weren't sure how busy we would be, but we were consistently busy for the 2 hours that we were here. So I think we helped a lot of families. A lot of people were able to pick up things. We were able to give some advice to some of the parents on where they could go if they had kids in middle school or elementary school, and we kind of got them help as well.
The families have been, especially for the back to school drive, because some of the families have multiple kids in the building, and there's, you have to get so many supplies and the gym clothes. They were so appreciative. We were concerned because we got the word out to a few different families, and we didn't know what to expect, but we had a steady stream of people coming in for over 2 hours, and everybody that came in was very, very appreciative, super appreciative. And it really started off Eisa and my year off, as we felt like this was a great way to start the year because we were helping others and being of service to others. And then got the kids off to the right start. They had the supplies that they needed. They didn't sit in class thinking that how are they going to pay for these things, or they weren't prepared the first day. So that part was great. What I noticed is that some of the kids in my office wanted to do something nice for the people that have cared for them, whether it be a caseworker or a case manager, a teacher, or even their grandparents in the house, but they didn't have the resources. Their resources are being spent to pay for utilities and rent. They didn't really have the money, but they wanted to be able to show. So what I noticed was it started off with me just having extra stuff in my house that didn't really match my decor anymore, but it was still really good shape. So I thought, if I just put a few things out and offer it to some of these kids. And then it kind of grew from there. I just put an email out to staff and asked them to donate something that they thought was in good condition, or if they saw something on a great sale. And we built basically a little store last year, and some of the kids would come down, again, word of mouth, either through counseling or the guidance office, or the administrator's office, or our offices, Jamie and mine. And the kids would just come in, and we had a wrapping station. They would pick something out. We would help them wrap the gift and have conversations with kids, and you learned a lot about their situation. And then it allowed us to offer them supportive counseling services as well as the pantry. But then they went to go home and be able to give a gift to someone that they cared about. So, and the staff feels great because they're helping out.
I think that the students that I know that have gotten help through it are ready to recommend it to anybody else they know that needs help from the pantry. They're like our biggest advocates sometimes. I hear students all the time, there's a pantry here, so if you need help, you can go to Miss P or Miss Jackson or see the pantry, and you can get stuff that you need. I also think there are a lot of students that are willing to help. Like a lot of my students in Students in Action and African American Culture Club and the different clubs that I run are willing to come down. They came in the summer, they helped us clean up. They're looking for ways to donate. There were students last year that actually collected things from locker clean out, things that were reusable, binders and notebooks and folders that kids that used at one time and held it in their locker the whole year. So I think kids are willing to help because they see the need, and I think that kids that are receiving things from the pantry are willing to share that knowledge with other people so they can help their friends and help other people as well?
Well, when we ask for donations, we tend to focus on our teenagers here. And we think of what it's like when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, and maybe, 18-year-olds sometimes choose to leave their house, their home situation, and sometimes they end up at a friend's house or a family member's house, but they don't want to be that burden. So we're trying to provide that support to continue their education and come to school. We want to help them reduce any barriers to that. So when we ask for donations, we're thinking of things that teenagers would want, whether it be clothes or what food. Prom dresses are helpful, or homecoming dresses. Shoes are helpful, especially sneakers. Any school supplies are helpful, and toiletries. Honestly, those are the easiest things for us to help out, especially when kids are kind of couch surfing. They're moving from home to home, and they need to go from one place to another to continue their education in this building.
I mean, we were talking about doing something for dresses for homecoming. So if there are any families that have, children who have grown up, or children that wore a dress to a Sweet 16, they're never going to wear it again, and you're going to give it away. I mean, I think it could be useful here, because I think there are some kids that want to go attend those dances, but they say they don't want to go because they don't have the money to afford a dress. I also think gift cards are really helpful, because we can provide some of the families some ways of, we don't have milk here, we don't have meats here, but we can give them a gift card so they can go shopping for what they need. I think snacks are really helpful. Anything that a teenager needs, like things that teenagers need, that if their parents aren't home, they can cook on their own. Macaroni and cheese, ramen noodles, peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter crackers, snacks and things like that. Water is always good.
We're set up through one of the clubs that Ms. Jackson runs to accept donations, and we typically, our preference is gift cards, because then we can use the gift cards at ShopRite or Target or Walmart to get some of the things that the kids need. Some things we can't keep here because we don't have we don't have a refrigerator or a freezer. So sometimes if we put together a box of meals for a family, then we can also include a ShopRite gift card that would allow them to get milk or bread, or sometimes I'll shop and make the delivery to the family because some of our families don't even have transportation to go out shopping. So sometimes I'll place an order at ShopRite, pick it up, and drop it off at the home.
A lot of people think that because it's Washington Township, it's a big community, it's a premier community, that there aren't people in town that have needs. And I think there are a lot more students and families that are in need than we think there are. When I was a student here, I definitely think there was a need, but I don't think we had a lot of resources, or we didn't know the resources that could help them at that time. So there were probably people in my day that, went unhelped because we just didn't know. But I think now, with being food insecure, that's a big thing, big term coming out now. So I think a lot of people, we recognize the signs, and we can, we know what we need to do to help. So I think nowadays, we have resources to help them, and people want to help, and people know about these things. I think back in the day when I was here, a lot of people didn't know. You didn't know if a kid was food insecure. You didn't know, because it was kind of more hidden. Now there are ways of finding out.
I think Washington Township does have a reputation of being an affluent community, and I think people are surprised that we have a pantry. And when they do find out, that I think it's a little bit of a shift for them in thinking, and then they want to help. So I think we have a very generous community, but we do have people in town that because of circumstances, whether a car accident and they can't go to work, or there's a disability, or a loss of a parent, and a loss of an income, or just coming on tough times with mental health or substance abuse. We have a lot of families that are trying to pay their bills, and this allows us to support them with some of the basics that others have more of, that they're willing to share and to support the community.